It goes without saying that Leclerc had a very challenging season ahead of him, and the fact that he went from being a candidate for the championship earlier this season to where he is now speaks volumes about Ferrari's season. On top of that, the latest blunder happened at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's something that Leclerc hoped would have turned out in his favour. Nevertheless, the Monegasque had an amazing pace, and although he was able to finish 3 places ahead of Perez, who is his direct rival for the P2 spot in the Drivers' Championship, the Monegasque wasn't happy with the outcome. Charles Leclerc's Friday sprint race qualifying was hindered by Russell and the red flag he pulled out on the track, and that is why he wasn't able to start higher than P10. Also, it's worth mentioning that Ferrari played a Ferrari card on themselves and sent out Leclerc as the only driver on track with the intermediate tyres, while everybody else was completing fast laps on the dry tyres. Even on top of those blunders, Leclerc was able to finish P6 on Saturday's sprint race and lose 1 additional point in the fight with Perez for P2, due to the fact that Perez finished P5 in the sprint race. Leclerc started the race on medium compound tyres on Sunday, and it was evident that he would struggle at the start of the race. That is why he lost 1 position to Norris, and when he tried to take it back at the race restart, he was knocked out by Norris and hit the wall. While many thought the race was over for Leclerc, the Monegasque was able to recover his car and finish P4 after another safety car helped him again to get closer to Perez and pass him in a direct battle. But what didn't make Leclerc happy was the fact that his teammate Sainz, who was at P3, just wasn't ordered to give up his position to the Monegasque. While Leclerc was running behind Sainz at a distance between 2 and 3 seconds, it was weird to many fans as to why the Monegasque deliberately called his team to slow down Sainz so that he could take the position from his teammate. After all, Alonso was following Leclerc and was very close to the DRS striking zone, and it would have been too big of a risk for the Ferrari to give up that spot. This time, the public's opinion of Ferrari was very high for not allowing Leclerc to pass Sainz due to the increased risk of Alonso behind, and it's not very often that Ferrari makes the right call. However, this still didn't sit right with Leclerc, who had a lot to say about this matter. Before we go deep into Leclerc's statement and his continuous radio message in the ending stages of the race, I want to tell you something a lot of you won't know. Before I started doing this, I was a professional chef for 14 years. During that time, I learned the importance of having the best knives possible. So when Kamikoto got in touch wanting to sponsor our videos, I was so excited. Kamikoto makes incredible, high-quality Japanese steel knives using traditional techniques that have been refined over 800 years since the Edo period of Japanese history. Your Kamikoto Japanese steel knife gets delivered in this beautiful heavy-duty ashwood box. If I opened this for Christmas, I would be over the moon. But it isn't the box that you're buying these for, it's the knives themselves. Each Japanese steel knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. When you take it out of the box, you can instantly appreciate the craftsmanship of their expert bladesmiths. If you thought the RB18 cut through the air well, then you should try cutting with one of these. Because of their single bevel edge, Kamikoto Japanese steel knives can achieve an unbelievably sharp edge you just can't get with any other knives. That's why they're used by Michelin star chefs all over the world. Kamikoto has several special offers going on right now and is offering our viewers an extra $50 off any purchase with discount code F1Reverse, on top of their special offers, which can be found at kamikoto.com/F1Reverse. Back to Leclerc and Ferrari we go. The Monegasque wasn't happy with P4 and kept begging his team on the radio to think about the championship and give him the position of Sainz. But it goes without saying that if Ferrari tried this and Sainz got passed by Alonso, then they would have been the laughingstock of F1 yet again. After all, their P2 spot in the Constructors' Championship is everything but over, because Mercedes, with their dominant 1-2 performance in Brazil, managed to cut down the lead to just 19 points. According to Leclerc, he and the team discussed a possible scenario like this prior to the race, and they both agreed that Sainz would let Leclerc go if it would benefit him in the P2 spot in the Drivers' Championship. And it goes without saying that Leclerc was hoping desperately for this scenario, due to the fact that he asked the team multiple times on the radio to please consider the championship fight. It seems like Leclerc received more help from Verstappen than his teammate Sainz, with the Dutchman refusing to give back the place to Perez after taking it from him just so he could try and complete an overtake on Alonso and Leclerc. Leclerc spoke about the race outcome, adding, "I had that earlier shunt, so to finish P4 is great. I asked on the radio in the last few laps about switching positions. I was frustrated about that in the heat of the moment because we had that discussion before the race and for some reason we changed our minds, which I don't know why. It was frustrating and I hope that in Abu Dhabi we'll be fast enough for me to get the second place in the championship. If not, it's like this. Carlos did an incredible job and he deserves that P3 and the podium because he did a great race. Again, if we didn't have that discussion prior to the race, I wouldn't have asked. Although Leclerc hoped that he could receive the P3 spot from Sainz, that is a bit of a selfish request from his side. Had the fight been for the championship with Verstappen, then the situation would have unravelled differently. But for Sainz to give up the P3 spot to Leclerc, which is basically a podium position and a trophy itself, just to get himself in a difficult situation defending against Alonso, who was praying for an opportunity in the back, isn't really an optimal scenario for the Maranello team. Still, Leclerc's blunders with Ferrari just don't seem to stop. During the qualifying session for the sprint race, Leclerc was the only driver to be on the intermediate tyres, and that is something that cost him valuable places. The Monegasque started P10, and because he was the only driver in Q3 on intermediate tyres, the times he set were the slowest. We were expecting some rain, it never came. I will speak with the team and try to see what we can do better in those conditions. Extremely disappointed, the pace was there. We still have the car now, but we need to get on it and do everything good for the rest of the weekend. I accepted the decision to go on inters and then I just waited for the rain that never came. Ultimately, the heavy rain messed up the opportunity to improve the original lap times, and the starting order remained the same prior to the red flag being caused by Russell. Nevertheless, Leclerc struggled a lot with his team tactics in 2022, and we can remember how he was left as a sitting duck in Silverstone, and he lost the win in Monaco due to the fact that his team called him into the box too late and he lost a couple of seconds in the double stacking process. After Leclerc passed the pit stop entrance, his team started to call him to the box, and it seemed like their strategies just have no idea where the driver is on the track. The same thing happened with Sainz in France, and the Spaniard was in the middle of an overtake on Perez. In Brazil, Leclerc's response was beautiful, effing beautiful, which was a copy-paste response from Verstappen in Kota when the Dutchman struggled with the slow pit stop. Many experts and F1 fans believe that Leclerc's pursuit of a championship will be an impossible quest for Ferrari, due to the fact that the team has made a lot of mistakes and struggled with a lot of strategy calls. Although he is a fast and talented driver, it seems like his team always finds a way to ruin the race, which is why the Monegasque could look in another direction if he wants to take the crown into his own hands. What do you think about Leclerc and his actions towards Ferrari? Do you think he had the right to ask for Sainz's position, even though it was a guaranteed podium for the Spaniard? Let us know in the comments below.